Chapter 10. The Reckoning Party has begun. Mustafa's apartment was drowned in absolute darkness, broken only by a faint, yellow light. It reflected his features, which had become a mass of darkness and hatred. He sat on the sofa, his back arched like a scorpion preparing to strike, and his hands were clenched so tightly that his veins stood out. "I swear, I won't let you get away with this. Mohammed." He said it with a voice choked with malice. The memory of the punch and being kicked out of the shop was still playing before his eyes. The sentence, "The shop is in my name," was still gnawing at his ears. He let out a cold, broken laugh. "Under your name, Fain. Mohammed, let's see what this name will carry for you tomorrow. When heads start to roll." He stood up, and suddenly his eyes sparkled with demonic intelligence. He grabbed the phone. He dialed the number. 1, 2. "Hello." Mustafa swallowed hard, changing his voice to a low, confident whisper. "Good evening, Pasha. I have the thread you're looking for. I know exactly who has the bag." A heavy silence fell over the call before Raad's voice returned, even more dangerous. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious. A friend of mine found it, and he's the one who spent it, penny by penny. His name, Mohammed." Mustafa stood at the window, looking at Mohammed Street with hatred. "And I can lead you to him in the blink of an eye." Without any noise, Raad asked for the address, and Mustafa gave him the details. He hung up, feeling a dirty sense of victory. "You started this, my friend, and you will be the one to suffer until the end." In a villa on the outskirts of Port Said, a luxury black car entered through the iron gates. Raad stepped out with his terrifying poise. A few minutes later, he stood before the villa's door, and without turning around, he whispered to his men,
"Mustafa,
"I want Mustafa here.
now. No noise. No traces."
I want him alive, standing right here in this hall." Mustafa was walking out of the roastery in the side street, carrying a bag of snacks. Suddenly, a black van pulled up coldly in front of him. Two tall men in black clothes got out. Before he could scream, a heavy hand muffled his breath. He was lifted off the ground like a feather. He was thrown inside the car. The door shut with a muffled click, and the car vanished into the dark streets, as if the earth had swallowed it whole. Inside the villa, Raad was sitting in the salon. The light was very dim. The sound of the waves outside was hitting the rocks violently. Suddenly, the door opened, and the men threw Mustafa at Raad's feet. Mustafa lay on the carpet, his whole body trembling, his eyes darting around in terror. Raad took a deep drag from his cigar, the smoke veiling his face. He remained silent for a full minute, a minute that felt like an eternity to Mustafa.
Veljome, Mustafa.
"I knew you'd come, but I wanted to speed up our meeting a little."
Mustafa Stameret.
"Pasha, I was going to call you again. I intended to." Raad looked at him closely. "Tell me, are you sure?" "Yes, Pasha. The bag fell 2 years ago in a narrow alley. 2 guys found it. One died a year ago, and the other became the owner of 2 shops. His name is Mohammed. And the money, spent, all of it. Mohammed opened the shops and lived like a king." Raad extinguished his cigar with deadly calm. "Excellent. What was the shop's address again?" Raad smiled a dangerous smile. "You did the right thing, Mustafa. Leave the rest to me." Mustafa left, feeling he had pulled his neck out of the guillotine and put it on Mohammed's. Raad looked at the sea from behind the window, his voice like a snake's hiss. 2 years. But there is still time for reckoning, Mohammed. The time for reckoning has come. Back at the house, Mohammed was sitting in the dim light, his desk covered in papers and conflicting accounts. The pen in his hand moved violently, his eyes red from focus and worry. "It's not enough. Never enough," he whispered, his voice choked. "From where'll I get the money? Should I sell my souls?" His sister, Malik, entered the room. "Mohammed, are you okay?" Mohammed exploded like a volcano. "You, who asked you to check on me? Stop acting like the caring mother. You're useless in this house anyway. Just get married and leave." Malik's eyes filled with tears. "I'm your sister. I'm afraid for you.
No.
Fear for yourself and your marriage. Leave me alone." Suddenly, Emonim's voice shook the house. "Leave your sister, Mohammed. Are you insane?" Mohammed grabbed her hair with brutal force. Malik screamed in pain. Emonim raised his hand and landed a thunderous slap on Mohammed's face. Mohammed stood frozen, his hand on his cheek, his eyes full of shock. Emonim pointed to the door. "Get out of here, Mohammed. Don't spend another night in this house until you know who you are talking to." Mohammed slammed the door behind him. Malik cried in her father's arms. "What happened to him, father? Where did all this rage come from?"
Montagnim Zeit.
"I don't know, my daughter. I don't know." Mohammed walked the cold, dark streets with his father's slap still ringing in his ears. "Am I on the street now? Because of cursed money?" Suddenly, a massive man in a hat blocked his path. Before Mohammed could speak, the man sprayed a stinging substance directly into his eyes. "My eyes. Who are you?" Then another appeared like a ghost and plunged a needle into Mohammed's neck. Mohammed's body gave one final jerk before he slumped onto the asphalt. Unconscious, they threw him into an armored car. The car sped onto the desert road, leaving Port Said behind, a one-way trip to the heart of Cairo. Hours later, the car stopped at a giant iron gate. They pulled Mohammed into a room in the basement, away from any sound. They tied him to a heavy wooden chair, his hands and feet bound so tightly. Raad entered the room, stood before Mohammed, and looked at his pale face with deadly silence. Then he signaled to the men. "We are done." They left, locking the iron door, leaving Mohammed in total darkness. In a dark corner near the scene, Mustafa was watching, his knees knocking together in terror. "Oh my God, they are not joking. If my turn comes, they will destroy me." He rushed to his apartment, packed a bag with his clothes and money, and ran to the bus station at midnight. He sat in the back seat, covering his face, running away from his past and from Mohammed's fate. Mohammed is now alone, shackled, in Raad's merciless basement. Will Mohammed be able to face Raad alone? Or will he sell Mustafa to save his own neck? Old debts never die. They just wait for the moment everyone is asleep to claim their souls. Stay tuned for the next chapter.